Meanwhile, we want to get it over to Robert Burns. He's also outside the convention center, and we want to start with Robert Burns, who is outside.
Some of them homemade from people who spent at least a day's worth out here hand-making these signs, protesting against Trump and his rally.
Robert Burns, great coverage there, but we begin with Fox 5's Robert Burns, who is live downtown with those protesters. Robert Burns, thank you so much for your coverage there. Robert Burns is on the ground there. Let's go ahead and check in with him on what he's seeing from his vantage point. Robert Burns for us this afternoon downtown. Robert, thank you. We hope to check in with you momentarily.
Robert Burns is right in the middle of your screen, on the right side of your screen, right in the middle of what's going on there. Robert, what are you seeing down there? Give us an idea of what's going on.
Some of them already have these masks on their face in preparation of hearing that these chemical weapons will be used.
Robert Burns for us, a really interesting and rare image that we would see that.
Can we go back to Robert Burns? Is he still down on the ground? Can we check in with Robert?
There was essentially a food fight a little bit ago. Sandwiches were being thrown, eggs are seen on the ground. We are being moved right now by this massive line and wall of police in downtown San Diego trying to keep protesters at bay.
Very contentious out there in San Diego. That was Robert Burns live for us.
Let's bring in Robert Burns, who is in the thick of it.
Stand by. We've got Robert Burns again on the ground, and he has been trying to keep pace with these runners. Robert, what are you seeing out there?
Run after them, and we hope to check in with you when you get a little more clarity. We appreciate you continuing your coverage to get up there.
These are the road close signs. These have been knocked off and torn apart at this point as these protesters have made their way. As you mentioned, they were sprinting across one of these 2.5-foot cones here. Someone picked up one of these and threw it across the street at the police officers a minute ago.
Robert Burns for us there downtown, right in front of the San Diego Hilton Hotel. Let's go back to Robert Burns, who's on the ground for us.
We're watching
pictures. Looks like someone's getting water in their eyes. Robert, what's going on?
Are you okay?
I'm good.
What happened out there? They sprayed you with pepper spray?
Yeah, and I didn't even do nothing, bro. Peaceful protest.
What are you still out here for?
Cause, man, I believe in something.
What do you believe? I mean, everything seems
I believe that Donald Trump is wrong.
This is now, however many hours in, is starting to escalate to a point where police are wanting it to stop.
Robert Burns, we so appreciate your coverage as now we are getting another live look.
The police have done what they are saying they were going to do, is get people out of here. You see another person being taken into custody.
We're going to check in at the ground level now and toss it over to our Robert Burns, who has been out there really at ground zero. You've been in the area where they were hurting all these defiant few.
These are the ones that are trying to get on TV, trying to make a scene, trying to disrupt the scene at this point. So these are the ones that have out here, and you know what? This is really the activity and the excitement that they're trying to keep at bay and send them home.
I don't want to blow smoke, but your guys' coverage, you didn't play any games with the protesters. You didn't try and antagonize them or get them to do something. Robert, I think, was out there. He did an awesome job, and your cameraman also. They should be congratulated for doing a great coverage when you have a very hostile atmosphere.
And very volatile.
You saw how much
sure.
he had to push people around.
He was just complimenting Robert Burns, who's on the ground. So we're going to check in with him as he continues his coverage. He's been there throughout the day and sort of saw the buildup.
They're going to make sure everybody gets off this bridge one way or the other.
We want to get you an up-close view now. Robert Burns on the ground once again with our photographer, and it looks like it's been dicey down there the last few minutes.
We can taste it, we can smell it, you can see them firing those to keep these protesters at bay who keep trying to inch closer and closer towards this barricade of police.
Let's go to our Robert Burns, who's been on the ground for us all along and been following the police activity there. Robert?
It has been quite the walk and quite the ordeal here. So as you can see, CHP officers lined up along the road as well to make sure that this wall continues to hold if any stragglers decide they want to try and push the limits.
Fox 5's Robert Burns was in the middle of all that chaos today, and he's joining us live downtown where things have calmed down considerably tonight. Robert.
Kathleen, yeah, it is calm now. Earlier, though, these streets were packed and flooded with loud protesters and police. Things escalating quickly from 0 to 60 in a matter of seconds. A protest that started peaceful erupted into chaos.
I'm sorry.
Police pushing protesters, cops tackling and taking dozens into custody. Thousands lined up outside the San Diego Convention Center protesting presidential candidate Donald Trump during his Friday afternoon rally.
There are a lot of people in this country who disagree with Trump, and it's nice to have some of them out here in San Diego.
Trump protesters quickly taking over the streets, blocking traffic, while police in riot gear intervened. Problems persisted as tension levels rose, cops firing pepper balls to keep the crowds at bay.
Can't just espouse hate without having terrible implications. And that's why it meant so much to me that I took a day off work to come out here and protest.
Hundreds of Latino and union workers marched in front of the convention center, many of which staying on site hours after Trump left town.
We are a border town, and people here have rights, and we are here to protect those rights. Whether you're here illegally or whether you're here legally, everyone in the United States has rights.
After repeated warnings,
if you refuse to move, we will deploy chemical agents.
Law enforcement getting physical, plowing through the rowdy groups in an attempt to segregate rally supporters and protesters, taunting each other from across the street.
We some of the finest people to be from the finest city, and you come here to our home and you got some people that love them and you got a lot of people that don't.
Hundreds of officers in riot gear overpowering the mob, hundreds more forced back miles, cops taking around 4 hours to clear the crowds. All right, and after a few of those hours, police eventually declaring this an unlawful assembly. Everyone arrested after those warnings. They face misdemeanor charges. So far, no property damage has been reported. We're live downtown. Robert Burns, Kathleen, we'll send it back to you.